And what he created, and if you got this book, you probably will benefit even just from that alone. Herod built the most magnificent city on the shores of the Mediterranean. He put a beautiful wall on the land and a great harbor on the sea. The harbor that Herod built was the third largest in the world of those days. Herod realized that he can take advantage of the newly invented technology, the concrete that was just invented. Herod built some wooden frames, poured concrete into them, had them sinking. Once it got dry, it got very heavy, it started sinking, and he just put one on top of the other until he created an 1,800-foot long water breakwater. And it's 160 feet wide. You're talking about huge concrete platform, 1,800 foot long, 160 feet wide, that went all around as a breakwater. Herod built huge storehouses. But that's one thing. Herod realized that it's not only about the trade. I want to create a culture here. Herod invited the Roman influence into the land, and for the first time a theater is being built in the land of Israel, and you're sitting in it right now. This is the first theater in the land of Israel. Now probably when you walked in you say, wow, what a beautiful amphitheater. You're mistaken like most of the Israelis are. This is not an amphitheater. Amphitheater is not a semicircle building with a stage and an open area down below. This is a theater for a show on a stage. The stage is called bima. This area is called orchestra. Today a group of musicians is an orchestra. This is called cavea. These are called vomitoriums. We're talking about a new different thing. Now, if you like amphitheater, amphitheater has no stage. Amphitheater has a deep arena, and that's for gladiator fight. That's something else. Amphitheater means double theater. You take the two half circles and create one. The Colosseum in Rome is an amphitheater. The name Colosseum is the name of the amphitheater. It's like the Staples Stadium, the Colosseum Amphitheater. You understand? That's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, a place that has an amphitheater, a theater, and a horse race stadium, hippodrome, will be considered a Roman city. A city. What if you only have two? It's a town. What if you only have one? A village. What if you have none? Rochester. Okay, so farming. But anyway, so we're talking about a major city because we had all three of them right here. And this is a place that Herod started an amazing tradition. Every 4 years, athletic games. Olympic Games in Olympia, Caesarean Games in Caesarea. He brought all the greatest athletes in the world. And in order to attract all of them, he even invented something that is being carried on until today by most people. He is the first one to give the silver and the bronze medals as well. Because up until his time period, it was only the winner that took it all. And it's only the gold medal. You understand that? Herod started many new things. But you know Herod died, like some people do. And when Herod died, he had big shoes to be filled by others. And Herod's sons were not as talented, and Herod's grandsons was not even close to Herod. And the Romans realized if we don't send our own governors to this area, this place will come falling apart. And starting from the death of Herod the Great, we see that the Romans start sending their own governors. And if the governors of Rome are going to sit anywhere, they will want to sit where it was like Rome. Where was the city that looked like Rome? Caesarea. That's why we hear about all the Roman governors sitting and living in the palaces right here. This is why Pontius Pilate lived here. This is why Festus, this is why Felix, this is why all of those people lived here. And the Jewish king used to be in Jerusalem. Whenever there was a certain event, they used to come together. If it's the Jewish holiday, it's the Roman governor that goes up to Jerusalem. And if it's just an occasion where there was a need for two of them, it is the Jewish king that comes down to Caesarea. In case of Paul's trial, of course it was Agrippa the first and then Agrippa the second that had to come all the way down here and be here. When Agrippa the first was here, we all know that he was sitting on this stage when the worms ate him alive because of the sun rising from the east, shooting its light on his golden garments, and everybody thought it's a god, and he never said no. All right, so this is the area probably of the trial of Paul, where they were sitting in that box over here and judging him while he was right in front of them on the stage. This is the place where Agrippa the first probably died as well. We're talking about the city where Paul was imprisoned for 2 years. We're talking about the city where Cornelius accepted the Lord and his whole household. We're talking about the place where the first Jewish revolt against the Romans in the year 66 started, right here. We're talking about a city that became the most important Christian center, a city that functioned throughout the late Roman period as the capital of Israel. When Jerusalem was destroyed by Adrian, Caesarea became the capital. And Caesarea lasted until the Muslims came. And where are the Muslims coming from? The east. They could care less about this. Caesarea was in ruins since the 7th century. Until who came? The Crusaders. And the Crusaders took a small portion of the original Caesarea by the Sea of Herod, and they surrounded it with a moat and a wall and created the Caesarean fortress of the Crusaders. And we're going to walk through that.
They really did a job on that.
That was good. They did an excellent job. Yeah. Really are.
You have to see that.